Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about Digimon Storytime Stranger, and let me tell you, there's a lot going on behind the scenes of this game that you probably missed in your first few hours of playing. Bandai Namco really put effort into the details, and I've picked out 7 interesting facts that aren't being talked about much. If you're a Digimon fan, or you're wondering if it's worth diving into this adventure, stick with me until the end, because there's information here that will make you see the game in a new light. Let's get started! One of the most intriguing things in Digimon Storytime Stranger is the return of the scan system, but this time it doesn't stop at 100%. In previous games, reaching that mark basically meant you could generate the corresponding Digimon, end of the line. Here the game plays with that rule and turns the scan into something more strategic. Going beyond 100% brings real benefits, like stat bonuses, additional skills, and even unique evolution possibilities. This adds a layer of reward for the player's patience. Instead of seeing the scan as a meter that fills up and that's it, now it's a way to personalize your progress. You can choose if you want the Digimon sooner or wait a bit longer and take advantage of superior potential. This change also aligns well with the more modern spirit of the series, which tries to mix nostalgia with complex systems. For those who played Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth or Hacker's Memory, this evolution is almost a dream. The game finally recognizes the effort and transforms old mechanics into something rewarding. But the most interesting thing is that there's no hard limit. Some Digimon respond differently to very high scans, which makes each capture feel unique. You're not just collecting monsters. You're developing optimized versions of them. It's the kind of detail that separates a merely mechanical system from an emotional design aimed at the player who wants to feel involved in the training. Personally, I love when a game gives me a reason to wait. And here, each extra point of evidence gives a taste of discovery. This new scan system is a perfect combination of tradition and innovation. It rescues a classic element, but with depth worthy of the new generation of tactical RPGs from Bandai Namco. The idea of a Digimon's personality influencing how it grows isn't exactly new in the franchise, but Time Stranger takes it to another level. Here, the Digimon's behavior really affects its stats, evolution choices, and even reactions during battles. This makes the bond between trainer and creature much more authentic. It's as if the game is saying, your decisions aren't just statistics. They form the Digimon's identity. If you're patient, the Digimon tends to be strategic and calm. If you're aggressive, it reacts with impetus and prioritizes direct attacks. This creates a kind of synergy between the player and the digital partner that few games in the saga have explored in such detail. The most curious thing is that this personality is shaped permanently. There's no way to simply reset the temperament. This forces the player to think long-term and gives emotional weight to their daily actions. Choosing an answer in the dialogue or treating it in a certain way has real consequences. I think it's brilliant, this feeling of creating a unique Digimon, almost like a reflection of who trains it. It's a type of emotional immersion that transforms grinding into coexistence and makes each partner seem alive. This can also generate interesting dilemmas. Sometimes you want a more offensive Digimon, but you ended up creating a born strategist. That's where the beauty of it comes in. You need to adapt, as in any true relationship. This type of mechanic gives identity to the game and differentiates it from the rest of the series. Each player will have a distinct experience because Time Stranger does something rare in monster RPGs. It challenges you to understand your own partner before using it as a battle tool. In previous games, de-digivolving a Digimon was seen almost as a defeat, a step backwards, a mandatory regression to fix mistakes or unlock skills. But Time Stranger completely changes that perception. Here, the act of reverting a Digimon is part of a legitimate strategy, almost a planned rebirth. The mechanic encourages the player to adjust their team according to the challenge instead of blindly pursuing the final form. De-digivolving a partner can open up exclusive skill paths, unlock new synergies, or even completely change a character's role within the team. This concept of flexibility is rare in RPGs that deal with evolution. It's almost as if the game wanted to remind us that evolution isn't a straight line, but a cycle. Sometimes growing means going back to learn again, and that has everything to do with the more philosophical tone that the franchise has been embracing lately. I like this idea because it reduces the fear of experimenting. You no longer feel like you're ruining a Digimon by trying different paths. Instead, the game encourages you to test, fail, and try again. In addition, this reinforces the depth of the battle system. Digivolving a Digimon at the right time can be what separates victory from defeat, especially in the longer and more strategic fights. The player starts to think in layers, seeing the forms as tactical tools. In the end, Time Stranger makes Digivolution a symbol of wisdom. Those who understand the system realize that retreating can be the secret to reaching maximum power, and that's a philosophy that works both inside and outside the game. This is one of those discoveries that only appears over time, and when you realize it, everything changes. In Time Stranger, attacking enemies on the map isn't just a way to start the fight with an advantage. It's a mechanic full of hidden nuances. At first glance, it seems just a way to avoid surprises, but each type of attack, angle, and even the moment of contact influence the start of the battle. The feeling of mastering this timing is special. When I managed to hit the right sequence and see my Digimon start the fight with an initiative bonus, I felt that the game was finally rewarding me for being attentive. It's a learning that comes naturally, and makes each encounter seem like a small challenge of precision. These secret mechanics also create a new rhythm of exploration. You start to walk through the maps carefully, like a hunter who observes his targets before acting. It's a layer of strategy that gives depth to a system that could be just decorative. And the most curious thing is how this aligns with the theme of the game, observation and adaptation. Just like in the digital world, knowledge is power. The most patient and observant player stands out, not only for strength, but for tactical intelligence. Personally, I really like how this mechanic encourages you to be present, not just click on battles automatically. It's almost as if the game rewards the player's curiosity. In the end, this subtlety transforms common encounters into opportunities to master the art of preparation. And in a game where small details make a difference, the feeling of being one step ahead is priceless. Cross arts are one of those mechanics that divide the field between those who play mechanically and those who play thoughtfully. The first time I realized that its charge depended not only on the damage caused, but also on the synergy between the Digimon and the actions performed in the right sequence. I realized that I had a tactical tool there much more complex than it seemed. The most fascinating thing is that Time Stranger makes you feel the weight of each choice. Ending the turn in a hurry can delay a powerful art that would change the course of the fight. It's a system that teaches you to play with time, not against it. Cross arts also reinforce one of the great themes of the franchise, partnership. They are not attacks by just one Digimon, but results of the harmony between them. In each battle, I found myself planning turns not only for damage, but to prepare the ground for that perfect combined attack. This type of strategy adds an almost rhythmic layer to the battles. You learn the right time to act, to accumulate energy, and to release everything at the most opportune moment. It's addictive precisely because it gives you control without taking away the tension. The beauty of this system is that it rewards both instinct and calculation. Sometimes it's worth risking, other times waiting another turn. And when the cross art happens, it's not just a pretty blow. It's the clear result of well-executed reasoning. In terms of design, it's the purest way to reward the player for thinking tactically. And personally, I think these are the battles that stick in the memory the most. Those in which timing and synergy are worth more than numbers. Finding a secret Digi portal in Time Stranger is almost like stumbling upon a hidden treasure in the middle of the map. At first, they seem like decorative details, until you decide to investigate and discover rare Digimon waiting for you, for free, without having to spend anything. This feeling of reward for curiosity is the type of design that I love in RPGs. These portals are the kind of secret that values the exploring player. Instead of just following the main line, you are encouraged to get lost, observe details, and question what seems out of the ordinary. And when the game rewards you with a rare Digimon, it's like giving you a pat on the back saying, it was worth looking. The impact of this goes beyond simple collecting. These hidden Digimon usually have special abilities that completely change the strategy of your team. Thus, exploration becomes a functional part of progress, not just a pastime. What I like most is how this mechanic rescues the charm of the old games in the series. That feeling of adventure, of discovering something that the game didn't tell you. It's not about grinding, it's about attention. And in a way, these portals also make the world seem more alive. Each map ceases to be just a corridor of battles and becomes a place full of mystery, as if there was always something new just beyond the next corner. Exploring a secret Digiportal is like opening a window to nostalgia. You feel the same spark of surprise that you had in the RPGs of the 2000s. It's rewarding and genuinely fun. In the end, Time Stranger hits the mark by transforming exploration into direct reward. Curiosity here is not punished, it is celebrated. This is the kind of feature that seems small, but completely changes the way you interact with the game. The fact that all Digimon gain experience, including those stored in the box, eliminates the classic frustration of leaving favorites behind because there is no room on the team. It's a touch of respect for the player who likes to vary. This design decision values the time invested. Even if you focus on a main group, the Digimon that are left out continue to grow, ready to be tested at any time. This generates enormous freedom of strategic experimentation. And what's coolest is that the feeling of progress doesn't stop. You never feel like you're wasting battles. Everything you do contributes directly or indirectly to your overall progress. It's a constant stimulus to stay active. On the emotional side, this also creates a greater bond with all Digimon. They cease to be forgotten numbers in a box. Each one becomes a potential piece of your team, waiting for their turn to shine. This philosophy makes the game more inclusive and welcoming. In addition, this mechanic encourages the player to think long-term. You can plan future teams, prepare different combinations and evolutions without having to restart the whole process. This brings a rare lightness to the genre. I see this system as a sign of maturity of the franchise. He understands that the player wants to experiment, not be punished for it. And this type of evolution in the design philosophy is what transforms a good game into a remarkable experience. Time Stranger shows that understanding the player is more important than challenging him with arbitrary limitations. Everyone wins together, literally. Well, that was the video. I hope you liked it and see you next time.
Great! There!
You